Hello, Skithiryx here from Straight from the Muzzle. This episode contains subject matter that may be inappropriate for some audience members. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we are anything but straight. My name is Space.
And I'm Ruby.
And we welcome you to our episode, which is about what today?
Furries ruin everything.
And we're doing a part 1 on this because I'm sure there's going to be more episodes as the seasons come, just because furries are always ruining everything.
Yeah, we tend to be our own worst enemy a lot.
It's a given. It's going to happen. It's a good episode to have just because why not? There's a lot of things that we tend to ruin. And so we took to Twitter and asked our fans what are things that furries have ruined, either as of recent or in the past.
It's a fun list.
It's a fun list. And then we also...
And this isn't even touching on the ones that I know of, but I don't know how to bring them in.
I don't even think... This is like barely even scratching the surface of what's happened. I've heard of like worse things that aren't even on this list. And we've also kept things off of this list as well, just because we weren't even sure how to put it on the list or if we wanted to even like talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not using the ones that I've heard from con chairs that I've hung out with and heard the stories, but
yeah,
there are some fun ones.
There's some good ones in there. For those who did comment, I kind of thought with how I would want to give you credit on your Twitter. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with your actual Twitter handle or if I wanted to go with the name that you could literally edit like every few seconds or so. So I'm actually going to go kind of either way. It just depends on what I think might actually be your name or what is your name. So some of them actually had names and some of them didn't. So I'll kind of go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of good ones in here. And then, of course, if you guys ever have suggestions and we didn't list any, just let us know. And that's easy to do because we have I'll link it in this episode when it comes out of the thread that we have. And you can just continuously add to it and we'll constantly check it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can start with the first one here.
Okay.
It's funny because this first one legitimately comes up again. And I think it only comes up it comes up 2 times, but I thought it came up 3 or...
It looks like it only comes up one other time.
Yeah.
But literally this one, if we searched around and asked enough people, we could probably do an episode just on this.
This one literally has baggage to it.
Mm-hmm.
From Hopnate on Twitter, they suggested Rainforest. So Rainforest was a con in Washington, right? Seattle, Washington?
Yes.
It was also dubbed AKA the Baby Fur Con.
Mm-hmm.
So it was never actually officially named that, but it was known for baby furs going to it. And in the last con, from what I understand, a lot of things happened that shouldn't have happened. Like things ended up floating that shouldn't have floated and other nameless things.
Yeah. The funny thing is if you go on Google and type in rainforest with like the first 3 things that show up is rainforest disaster. Like literally that's it.
If I type in hashtag rainforest, let's see what comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, a SpongeBob thing. And just not terrible stuff. But if I wanted to look for it, what is this? I think we solved the mystery of the inappropriate pooping at Rainforest.
Yeah, that showed up.
That is hilarious. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, so literally, if you... really what I said there, that's truly what happened. I don't know if that happened in a room, if it happened out on the floor, or if it happened out at the pool, but it did happen, and I think it happened multiple times. So it just, they canceled the con, and I believe they will never, like Rainforest will never resurrect, and I don't think they've ever had a con.
I think they did. I think someone renamed it.
What was it called?
Came back. I don't remember.
Let's see.
This one we'd probably look up later. But Furry Con in Seattle, I guess.
Washington. Anther Northwest?
That might be it.
Huh. That's in Seattle, Washington. I mean, hey, you can call it whatever you want, but we all know what's really going to happen.
I think it was, I think a new, I think someone else took it over and... Sort of probably like the one we had in North Carolina.
It's okay. So this is what they're saying is our focus is very much on the arts and education. In a given year, there are over 100 educational panels and workshops. We cover just about every aspect of costume creation and also feature a wide selection of humanities panels from psychology to overcoming anxiety and public performance techniques. I'm sorry, but that sounds boring. I don't want to go to this convention. Not for me. That does seem like a Seattle, Washington type of thing, like a Portlandian episode right there. But no, thank you. I don't want that. sorry, Washington, but no, thank you. Why don't you take on the next one?
The next one, Sonic. I can only just picture this being 1000% Rule 34.
Oh my god.
Because, yeah, that's it.
Sonic is... Well, first off, you never mess with Sonic fans because they will go crazy. They are just like an exact replica of the Dutch Angel Dragon fans. They'll go batshit crazy if you even mess with them.
Yeah, and this is coming from a Dutchie.
Yeah, you're in the Dutchie community.
I am.
Yeah.
Graphics is a Dutch Angel Dragon, so...
Yeah, and I felt we for media at one time felt the full throttle effect when we were doing something with telephone and one of them came at us and they're like, whoa, what are you doing? And I'm like, excuse me, I know telephone, thank you very much, and you're way out of line. And then they replied back and were like, we're so sorry, we didn't actually mean to, step out of line. And I'm like, bitch, you were stepping out but I played it diplomatically and all that fun stuff.
I can vouch. Yes, there are people that get way too obsessive about the Dutchies, and yeah, good God.
Oh my gosh, so bad. So that came from Archimedes on Twitter. All these are basically from Twitter, unless we Googled it. The next one is politics in the fandom, and that comes from Jack's Rain. Including, and I'm not really sure what this particular one is because I've not heard it phrased like this, but if I had to sound it out, it would sound like this. Ooh, no politics.
Politics, yeah.
Politics. It's so stupid. I can't stand people who talk like that in real life, let alone people who write like that in full sentences. It drives me up the wall.
To me, and no politics in the fandom. It's almost... Or politics in the fandom, it actually doesn't say no politics. The initial doesn't say no politics. It's weird in that both sides are just as ruining as the other.
Okay, here's the thing though. It's odd that they would bring this up because it's almost impossible to not bring politics into the fandom.
Yeah.
Because look at furry groups on Facebook or on Twitter, meetup, .com. In order to have these groups, you have to establish some sort of, I guess you could say, adminship and rules. And by that, you need to have some sort of politic there. A politics doesn't have to mean US politics or European politics. It just means that it's something that has to be kind of established to create some sort of order.
Yeah, but also it almost feels like you could also throw in the people that say when you're over 30 you need to get out of the fandom.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that.
That pop up every couple of years. Are people freaking out about having a an all 18 plus con in Vegas, I think?
Yeah, or
God knows I want to go to that one.
Skin when you're fursuiting, that's a
Poodling.
big deal. Yeah, and I don't think that's a really big deal. Show your skin. If that's what you got to do, if that's what you got to work with. I have a friend, though. So I have a friend, and he has very finite rules of fursuiting. And that is just how it is. But I'm okay with how you fursuit is how you do it. As long as you just don't ruin the magic, unless it's an emergency, try not to ruin the magic.
I mean, I really only have one rule for my fursuit, and that's no one else gets to freaking wear it. I let a friend wear it one time and walked around, and it freaked me out because I'm like, that's my suit, and it's performing without me. Can't do it. Never do it again.
Would things like closed species be politics in the fandom?
No, that's just choice. That's just
what Telephone has done.
I thought, well,
or is it a closed species?
It's not.
Or is it it's like a farm and the gate's kind of open?
They're semi-open. Okay, yeah. So they are kind of like a farm.
Okay. So they are kind of like a farm.
Yeah.
And the gates is kind of open, but it's not like fully closed.
They've laxed the rules big time compared to what they were originally.
The animals
But you're
can
not
roam back
looking
and
as
forth.
much as the not the protogens.
Oh, the protogens? Is that what they're
It's
called?
not the protogens. There's two forms of the protogen, and one of them is closed. The other one is semi-open. And they made the it's the antigens.
Who created the protogen?
I don't remember.
That's an interesting. Well, we're doing an episode on protogens.
Yeah, I love them. I so freaking want.
They're so cool. They look so.
Primogens are closed.
Oh, I've never heard of a primogen. I'm writing
And a
this
protogen is open.
Oh, I didn't.
There's only a few primogens.
Primogens.
And it was made by
primogen.
Malus Risu is who the species belongs to.
Huh.
But yes, I couldn't remember it was primogen, and there's only a few of them. But because of how popular they were, they opened up the species protogen so that people could have them and not take over the species.
So there's a guy on YouTube that Felix and I follow, and he does like custom helmets and everything. Like he does custom everything, like programming and stuff for protogen crap. And it's fascinating, but we had no idea how the hell they saw out of their helmets. And he did a little quick video, and literally he just takes his hand and cups over his face and then pulls off the visor. And I'm like, oh, they can literally see. It's just a face shield. That's all it is. It's literally just like a motorcycle helmet kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Had no idea. What a choice fursuit head. I would kill to have that.
Yeah, I definitely, if I had to pick a no money was an issue, I would totally go for an all out protogen.
Oh, hell yeah. The options are just endless on it. So much it'd be so beautiful.
But yeah, for politics,
politics, I mean,
this might be a perfect place to put this, but yeah, the unnamed, the convention I'm not naming because I am not giving them any free advertising that hopefully will be canceled soon.
The unnamed convention that's the opposite of the left.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Far from it.
From a galaxy far, far away, but not that galaxy.
Yeah.
So
I was about to say, I don't know if you've the more I've watched, this is just random, the more I've watched Star Wars, the more actually the Sith sound a whole lot more civilized.
So did you listen to the Star Wars episode?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. Part of it. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, so it's not like I sit there and like.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
But so Boomy totally does a really good outline of the Sith. And I gotta be honest, I almost kind of feel like the Sith really aren't as bad as Star Wars almost makes them sound.
No,
because truly, if you really think about it, they don't engage first. It's always the Jedi.
And the Jedi, if you go through their stuff, they're actually like really despicable.
Yeah, so it's always really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, when you said Star Wars special, the only thing I thought of was the holiday special, and I watch that once a year.
Oh, yeah. I've never watched the holiday.
I have never missed. It's free on YouTube. I've never missed a year watching it.
Oh, I've liked watching the Family Guy holiday special.
Yeah,
those are fun. All right, next. That's a good one.
Yeah, Daddy Tony the Tiger. Yes.
So, this comes from Kane Sergel.
Yep.
I remember this one because it got so bad that I believe Tony the Tiger is owned by Kellogg's, right?
Yes, Kellogg was blocking people, and
Kellogg's had to come out with an official statement, like a cease and desist of people to not do this anymore.
They gave us a buff tiger, and I think that was just before Zootopia came out, so we didn't have our buff glitter tigers yet.
No, we didn't.
So we had to get something.
Yeah. So it was it was innocent at first, and then they us furries did things to Tony the Tiger. So if I'm not sure if you can still find them on Twitter, but you can definitely still find them on Fur Affinity.
I'm pretty sure you can.
E621.
Well, also rule of once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Yeah. Rule 34.
Mhm.
We should go over all the rules. That should be a fun
Actually,
episode.
I at one point in time worked out Rule 34 all the way down to like subsection like alpha. I worked it through like all like probably the first like A through Z, then alpha, and then I had subsets of those.
It's crazy how many rules of the internet
Like
there
Rule
are.
34A, if it does not yet exist, the minute it is mentioned, porn will be made of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Like, for instance, my grandmother naked frisbee golfing.
There goes. You said it. It exists now.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subset A.
You're welcome all for that visual. So yeah, Tony the Tiger for sure. That was like way overdone, and that kind of goes into.
But
what
that
you're-
also, it's the thing is that this is completely different. But so I don't want to go to the next one just yet. But if they hadn't said anything, it would have fizzled.
I wonder if you can still find Tony the Tiger.
I almost bet it. But if you don't say anything, it would fizzle. It will fade out. But the fact that towards when it was supposed to start, when the fizzle was supposed to start happening, Kellogg kicked in, and it got worse.
Yeah, there's still things on Tony the Tiger.
Oh,
You
there
can still
always will
hashtag
be.
him. It's not as bad, but I'm sure you can hashtag like Buff Tony.
Mm-hmm. Or Tiger Daddy, any of those.
Buff Tony. No, that's not what I thought it would be. Don't do Buff Tony. Nothing comes up. But that kind of plays into the next one.
Mhm.
And so the next one comes from Gavin von Blackmuzzle. And they said, just think about what we did to poor Zabby Vaca. And I didn't know who that was. I actually had to Google that one. But you actually have an interesting background story to this one.
This one is one of my favorites. I love Zabivaka. I love the art of him. What happened was when it was the World Cup that was being held in Moscow. Russia created Zabivaka, who was this cute little like wolf dog cute, and they said specifically, please respect, I think it's something along the lines of please respect our wishes and do not like alter him or make anything dirty about him.
And this is Russia.
And I think they were specifically talking to us.
Russia is the like emperors of the trolls of the universe.
Yeah. So the minute they said that, of course, furries went, he's cute. Let's make it dirty. And part of me is not 100% sure. Part of me, actually, no, I am convinced that Russia did that on purpose.
Yeah. So I went and Googled Zabivaka because I wasn't sure what Zabivaka was. And so when I pulled up our tweet that we did, I found a really buff Zabivaka, like a really, really oversized, muscly, giant pec, nipply Zabivaka.
Yep.
With a giant package.
And what it started with is people were originally started putting him like carrying a rainbow flag because, Russia. And then, it spiraled.
Yeah. So I just thought, I looked at this and I'm like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. But it's also really, really like.
it was the 2018 FIFA World Cup. That was it.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I love what they've done to it. And I just kind of thought, like, what other mascots have we ruined? And then I also thought, maybe I don't want to know.
He was the worst that I know of because they made the mistake of saying, please don't do anything to him. Yeah. As I said, I think they knew exactly what they were doing because there is no way that was accidental.
My challenge to the listeners is I want you to go find a mascot that you think the furries have ruined, and I want you to send it to us so we can talk about it on a future episode. And you can either email it to us at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com and send us a picture, or you can tell us about it on Telegram, or you can use the thread that we'll post.
And I'm going to go ahead and say, Tony the Tiger, we know. And I almost want to say don't use Gritty because I'm pretty sure I know enough about that one.
Yeah. And then obviously, if you're obviously, a younger furry, don't go looking where you shouldn't be looking.
No.
Use your common sense on that one, folks.
Yes.
All right. Now, this next one, you and I were both kind of stumped on because I've never heard of this one. So this one's called, I need to give credit to this one. So this comes from Winter Warburton, and their suggestion was 5e, the 538 Fox. And there was nothing else. Like, that's all they suggested. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I have no idea what this is. And even Googling it really didn't bring much information up. So we had to delve into it much deeper. And we found out what you found out. It was just like a data gathering analytics site.
It's a data analysis company or site.
Yeah, which coincidentally I found out is owned by Walt Disney. But I guess they're I know, it's funny because it's Walt Disney of all things. Their mascot, coincidentally, also is a fox. And so apparently there were a lot of horny things that were done to 5e the 38 Fox. And Rolling Stones magazine did a whole article on that. So I'll link that one down in there as well. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting read. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I just made the funny mistake of typing in mascot Rule 34 into Google.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, they're
Rule
great.
34, anything.
Oh, they're great. They're beautiful.
I bet they are.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're totally fine. You got the next one, though.
Okay, hotel damage at Rainforest.
That's our twofer for number one.
Mm-hmm. That was from Bear Orso. Yeah, Bear Orso. Honestly, I don't know like a ton of information about Rainforest. It kind of was one of those I just didn't pay attention to it.
I only know because everyone calls it the Baby Fur Con. And I never went to it, but I know people who went to it. And I don't know how much money in damages. I only know that when it all went down, Twitter had a whole Twitter blew up basically, and I just watched it all kind of crumble down. And I'm like, yes, drama.
Every meme I'm finding about it is using the number 100,000.
Like what, damage or
$100,000 in damage?
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yes,
that's a lot of money. Yeah. Let's hope the con had insurance. So
hopefully,
yeah, that's a shitty situation.
I'm actually looking it up right now just out of my own curiosity.
Yeah, tell me what it is.
Not seeing it on a quick scan, but yeah, it, as I said, only number I'm seeing is 100,000, so I'm going to go with that because it's a clean number.
Huh.
Yeah, that I couldn't even imagine.
What are we looking at? Interesting. Okay. Moving on.
Yes.
This next one's yours.
All the sprinkler system damage. This one, I actually heard from from con horror stories of people that I've hung out with. Basically, someone at FWA decided they wanted to use the sprinkler head as the safety sprinkler head as a fursuit drying rack and ended up breaking the tip off of it.
It's so stupid.
I don't know if you know anything about those systems, but they're not designed to just, spray water gently. They're meant to soak the area.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it literally went down floors before they could shut it off.
Now, the cool thing about fire sprinkler systems is that it doesn't trigger all of them. It only triggers the one that is specific to that one particular location, which is kind of genius. But still, how stupid do you have to be? Obviously stupid in this situation, that you would hang your fursuit on a sprinkler.
I almost have an answer for that.
Very, very stupid.
Extremely. But This one, I never could believe another sprinkler head story. This one wasn't furries. And I'm pretty sure every con chair in the fandom is happy about this. But I do have another one for sprinklers, and I never believed it was true until I actually heard the story from two completely separate fandoms.
Really?
Same story. It was at a kink convention.
Oh.
And two people decided to go back to the hotel room and practice rope play. And they used the sprinkler head as one of the tie points.
That's not a good idea. It's not a weight bearing. For one, there's no way you could weight bear on that.
I have heard the story from both the local kink community, and I got to hear it from, if I'm not mistaken, Kage.
That is... How did Kage hear about that?
He's a con chair. When
Oh,
I
okay.
heard about it, I was like, that it has to be true now. What makes the story funnier, and if you could say who would be that stupid, they were police officers.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Our taxpayer dollars are going towards these fools. This is so stupid.
Yeah. I can't even think of what they would be using that spot as a tie point for anyway. Not that the hotel room has very many tie spots.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite stories. And yeah, hands down, I love it.
It's so stupid.
I never used it until it got confirmed. And I'm like, there. Yes.
Like, okay, I mean, if I look in my room right now and I need to use a tie point, I could think of a few things because I don't really, I mean, if I'm looking at the ceiling, there's not much I can really use, obviously. But the first thing I wouldn't think to use is the sprinkler. But ours are one of those like flat ones that pop out from the ceiling. It's not
it's
the
the
like,
equivalent of trying to use a fan blade as a point.
oh, that's even worse too. Oh God.
Yeah. I the
Yeah,
day I
sure.
got that one confirmed, I was very happy because I got to actually say, hey, this is real.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's so dumb. It's almost as dumb as when furries throw their fursuits into the dryer and then at full heat. You can throw your fursuit into the dryer, but you're not supposed to put it on full heat because it'll melt your fursuit.
Yes, as a public, I can't think. I just blanked on the word.
As Telephone once found out, as she had done before she had come on to as a guest many, 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 many years ago when we did live shows.
Fur is made out of acrylic.
Yeah.
Acrylic melts. Don't do that.
Don't put acrylic next to a heat source that's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of wish it wouldn't get us like copyrighted or bothered. I would love to have Pandez's "Don't Be That Guy" playing in the background right now.
You know, we probably could get it from him.
Yeah.
I knew him at one point.
Oh, he's the nicest human being on the planet Earth. So.
He really is. He's such a nice guy.
But yeah. And you know, the next one on the list, I just made the mistake of, it's Google searching for anything involving animals or animal characters.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, anything.
Yeah, and I've learned that it actually was a rule in graphic design. No matter what you search, within 20 images, you will find something adult related.
Furries. Rule 34.
No, I'm just gonna
type that. Images. Hello. Oh, hey, look at that. 5th image in. A Walt Disney Zootopia thing.
I typed in just Zootopia.
No. Oh, you know what I should do? Okay, hold on. Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
That's what I should do. Tony the Tiger. Bam.
Wow, I'm actually shocked. I'm pretty far down the list. I'm not finding anything.
What? Tony the Tiger?
No, of Zootopia.
Of Zootopia? Really?
I mean, besides the naked shot of Nick, but that's actually in the trailer.
You have to make sure your safe search is off.
Oh, it always is.
Okay, good. My safe search is always off. But if you do, so I've done Zootopia Rule 34, but if I search just Zootopia as normal, I don't think anything will come up.
Zootopia fan, first image.
Maybe it depends on what you're searching for.
Yeah, but still, it's you're that nothing in what I just said was adult.
Well, maybe you got to click on an image, and then you got to go on an image to an image to an image to an image.
But yeah,
like this one. Yeah, this one. So this one looks cringy and gross.
And I'm the one that came up with this one, and it's more just because it's not really furries ruin everything, but it's always that pattern that no matter what.
Yeah, it's always there.
Yeah,
always.
It's almost our own Rule 34, and it's Rule E621.
And it doesn't even have to be animals or characters. It can literally be like if you type in cosplay costumes.
Oh God.
And or cringe cosplay. Literally, it's not hard to find just the skankiest things you'll find on there. So, but again, as a warning, if you're a young fur and you're listening, use your judgment here. Common sense. Do not go looking where you shouldn't be looking. Our last, it's not really a submission, our last thing on the list, and this one's from me specifically, just because I feel like I love bringing up this one because he's such a dick in general, is Scrat, aka Killing Craig. Because I know there's another Scrat in Europe and he's a really good guy. This Scrat in America is a total douchebag.
Yeah, this one I know nothing about, so this one's you.
Yeah. So if you don't know who Scrat is, what I would recommend doing is go ahead and go to YouTube and type in Killian Cray. That's KILIANKRAY or Scrat Furry Dancer, and then it'll pull up his YouTube channel and you can watch all of his stuff. Now, he may look like a fun character, but he is not a nice guy. He treats his subscribers like crap. And he is such a baby and he throws tantrums. He's kind of like our ex-president. Anyways, that's really bad.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it works. But what happened to him is that he won like 1 or 2 dance competitions and fame went to his head. And then he kind of just had that oversized, like, I'm popular and so I can do whatever I want. And he started to treat his fans like crap like that. And his fans, for whatever reason, kept like following him. And so I'm not really sure why, but for the sake of Furries Ruin Everything, I think Scrat has literally ruined his fan base, but he really kind of ruins everything he touches. He just is like, he's kind of like a rotten egg that's like 100-year-old, rotten egg, but you opened it up and you put it in the middle of the table for everyone to smell.
Yeah.
And you just left it there. That's how bad it is. It's gross. So, yeah. And that's the end of the list, really. That's all it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
I mean, any other thing I can think of, all I can really now think of is Chlorine Con, but
oh yeah, there is Chlorine
but that
Con.
wasn't us. That was someone else hitting us.
True. So we could end with that one. That would be number 11 then. And yeah. I know how much people love when we end on odd numbers.
We're going to end on an odd number just because.
I was at Chlorine Con, also known as MFF. Furries Ruin Everything by throwing a bottle or a glass container of powdered chlorine down a stairwell, and it exploded and it caused so much issues. There were people that went to the hospital for burns. To me, it smelled like there was a pool. In fact, I accused one of the hotel staff that there was a pool in the hotel itself.
Yep.
Because I asked them earlier that day, and I'm like, is there a pool? They're like, no, we got rid of it to make more convention space. And so when I was walking down with our hotel friend or room friends, I'm like, I know there's a pool. I can smell it. So we didn't find out what was going on until we left the hotel and everything. It was such a mess. Yeah. But that was the worst because the next day, everyone was just quiet. And that's the last thing you want, is to have like the second to the last day of the con to feel this quiet, weird awkwardness.
Yeah.
Like no one really knew how to I don't know, go back to having fun again. It was just so weird. But
my part of that story, I wasn't there, but I watched a news story from the area. Personally, I would love to take a couple of the newscasters that I was watching and introduce them to a 2x4, specifically their face, because they were laughing at us. And it's like, dude.
It's an unfortunate situation. I will say that MFF was absolute number 1 on Twitter trending for that whole night around the world, which was awesome. 2, we saw the best of the fandom, and I've never seen such coordination like I saw on Twitter and on Facebook, people calling back and forth, making sure that everyone was okay. Even if you didn't know who the person was, there were people out there making sure that they could locate parties that were, separated from each other. And it was just absolutely fascinating to kind of watch. It was beautiful. So although it was kind of tragic, it was also kind of beautiful at the same time.
I mean, yeah, to not give the fandom any kind of major black eye, just the sheer amount of anything bad Furries Ruin Everything, is countered by 100 things that we've done good.
Oh yeah, so, easily.
Or actually, let's take 2019, 1,109,974 good things. And that was the amount of money raised that year by us.
Wow, really?
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
Mhm.
And I'm
Oh, yeah.
assuming that's for charities of
Yep,
sorts.
that was charities across all cons, if I got the number right. But I think 2019 MFF raised over $100,000.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And what other things too, people maybe don't think about is that conventions themselves, like furry conventions, also generate a lot of money for the surrounding city. And that also helps local shops and the city kind of grow and stay a little bit of afloat. So going to a convention isn't just going to a convention to have fun. You're also helping the community kind of grow as a little bit as well. So that's kind of a fun little thing that you can kind of think about going out, enjoying the town, but coming back to the convention, little things here and there. So it's kind of neat. We didn't get to do that last year because of, COVID. And of course, now everything's kind of ramping back up again, but we got to keep it,
Yeah. But I mean, still.
We're doing the best we can.
Yeah. I mean, I still think, donations are way down, but still, yeah,
it's better than
we're still
nothing.
keeping the cons going.
Yeah. There's virtual cons. There's
and
some
I've
cons
loved
that
them.
are
I've
going
watched every
on.
one of them.
I haven't watched any of them, but I've wanted to just to kind of see. But
to see everyone's creativity with the virtual dance competitions is some of the best stuff I've seen, period.
Okay, so I'm kind of on the fence here. So this is like not even related to the episode, but I'm going to say it anyways. So I'm on the fence on what I want for my birthday for Felix to get me because either A, I want a drawing tablet so I can refine because I like to do a lot of editing, but I do a lot of my editing by hand with a mouse, which is not ideal, obviously. But at the same time, I also kind of want an Oculus because it's only like $300.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you. Because I want one too.
So, and it's like, oh, could you think of like the potential I could go into the virtual world and then I could start participating there? But at the same time, it's like, oh, I don't know. I have two passions here. I want to try something new, but at the same time, I also really love graphic arts and I want to try picking that up again and doing something.
I have a PSVR and I love it. The Oculus is definitely up on the list of I need this.
It's a tough decision. I don't think he'll do it. The Oculus. I think he's more or less going to go for the tablet, which is still good. It's whatever. It's a goal. I'm gonna make it a goal, and then eventually I'll buy it. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be funny to be able to do one of these episodes over VR chat.
That would be so cool. Or like a face rig. That would be fun to do too.
Well, I have a VR, but it's using the computer, and someone did make a female African wild dog, so I'm set.
Ooh.
I'm good.
We have face rig, but we don't have VR. Our friends have VR, so maybe we could use his.
I mean, the PSVR, or not the PS, the non-VR version of VR chat, but you don't get all the movements and stuff. So yeah, we kind of need an Oculus.
That Oculus would be pretty rad.
Yes. And if you get one, I can get my hands on one. Wouldn't be mine, but I have a friend that has one.
Goals. This is a goal for us. We need to get an Oculus so we can do Oculus things with straight from the muzzle.
Yes.
And then we can do things. So anyways, do we have anything else to add to this episode before we leave?
Not that I can think of, no.
All right.
Just looking forward to other episodes because we have some fun ones coming.
We do. With October, we have some fun. We have a really fun one coming up for Halloween.
Oh, yes.
I think we named that one Horrific Horrors, or
I think it's either it was Horrific Hunks, I think, or something
Horrific
like that.
Hunks, and that's whore as in like, oh, she's a whore. So we have some fun stuff coming up. For those who are looking for fursuits but not quite sure who you want to go with, we are actually going to be Bean and I will be doing a fursuits by like certain fursuits by categories, by budget, premium, most technical, things of that nature. So that'll be something you guys can look forward to. And then we'll do some stuff in November, and then we'll take a break in December. So that way we can enjoy the holidays with our families and friends.
Yep.
Yay! So hooray. Well, if anything else, or nothing else, I suppose, you guys know how to reach out to us. Like always, Telegram, Twitter, and email us, talktothemuzzle@gmail.com. But without further ado, y'all have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night.
Or not a good night. Have
Evening.
a good day.
It's a good night here. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is. Whatever.
Have a good event of whichever time frame you're in.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.